Well, I must say it's nice to be back at Roker Park, and for a change Sunderland had the full attention of the North East. The North Sea looking pretty cruel. It's just a few yards away from Roker Park. It's the famous Roker End, and I would think he's been to see in his time. Certainly looks cast for one particular role. It's a cold afternoon, although not by northeast standards. It might be said even to be almost like a spring day, but we have a rather swirly wind, and as Desmond Lynham said, plenty of atmosphere. It's a change for these supporters away from the problems of the league, to face the big names from Tottenham Hotspur and raise the game to cause a surprise. Gary Mabbutt, who's known everything about the FA Cup, the triumphs and the disasters, and perhaps more than anyone in the game has learned to treat them as the imposters that they are. Ian Walker having a really good season. Gica Popescu, who will be making his debut in the FA Cup. He missed the game against Orshagan because he had flu. Spurs waiting to be joined by the opposition, who sensibly come out with extra tops on. It's David Howells and Jurgen Klinsmann. So as the teams are applauded under the pitch, let's look at four young men for whom this is a very big day. Luke Ball, David Michael Dent, Daniel Lombardo and Aaron Morgan. And young Luke Ball, who's been enjoying himself in the warm-up, is indeed the son of Kevin Ball. And there is Kevin, the captain of Sunderland, who is suspended and therefore can't play in this prestige match. And in Kevin Ball's absence, the manager Mick Buxton has gone for an interesting choice. He's brought into the side Lee Howie, who is the brother of Steve at Newcastle, known better as a forward. We're going to play differently today, Trevor.
Yes, they usually play 4-4-2, but they decided to play the extra central defender. Lee Howie, as I say, usually a striker. Been playing a few games in reserves as a central defender, and he's going to give them that cushion against the likes of Klinsmann, of course, and Sheringham. Two important people, I think. Number 25, Martin Scott, will push in, and Mark Anderton, who they're particularly concerned about. Number 22, Martin Smith, up there as a third attacker, would be given a roving role, and he's very highly thought of up here.
As for Tottenham Hotspur, all their news is good news, except for the absence of Dean Austin, who is suspended. But as we've already been told, Klinsmann and David Howells both fit.
I think the lineup will show the versatility of Sol Campbell, number 23 there. He filled in central midfield instead of David Howells in midweek at Villa. Back to right back this time. He's been playing left back most of the recent matches, and so certainly useful to have somebody like him there. And I think Nick Barmby, number 7, wide on the left of midfield, but you'll often see him coming into the centre supporting Sheringham and Klinsmann, and he'll be difficult to pick up for Sunderland.
Well, we were looking at the mascots a few moments ago. Here's Craig Russell, who on his 10th birthday was a mascot for a match for Sunderland against Liverpool. He's 21 years old next Saturday, an anniversary of both occasions, and making a name for himself now in his local side. Gary Bennett captaining the Sunderland side in the absence of Kevin Ball. His brother Dave scored for Coventry against Gary Mabbutt's side back in 1987 when Coventry won the Cup. Mabbutt became a Spurs captain to lose. The referee for this one, Mike Reed from Birmingham. Mabbutt, of course, knew the other side of the story in 1991. Referee in nice, relaxed, chirpy form before the match, and seems to have brought that attitude to the pitch. And so much in cup ties depends on attitude, particularly of the supposed bettors. Jerry Francis will know that. better than most. That will be his only concern. Referee just waiting a few seconds. Shouldn't think the players will want to be held there for too long. It's now raining quite hard. So away go Tottenham, attacking the Fulwell end of the ground. First up and under from Martin Smith, chased by Russell. Early feel of the ball for Ian Walker. Massive players in the centre circle. Sunderland dropped back, not the best of clearances. Nice touch from Klinsmann to Bambi. Returned the compliment, but there was a foul on Bambi. Moved across to the left of the back players. 7 red stripes on the 18-yard line. And the two-man wall, which is moving about a bit in the breeze. Anderson takes. Won by Bennett. First touch for Gordon Armstrong, who's found his form in the last couple of games. Scored 2 in the replay against Carlisle, and scored against Notts County, who won here a week ago, the bottom club in the First Division. But this is the FA Cup, so that counts for absolutely nothing. Run by Ferguson. Pacey, strong start. Referee's given the free kick.
Referee just trying to make sure that 1 or 2 tackles don't get out of hand. Often happens in a cup game. Could have let the game flow, but just decided to make sure he clamps down on it very early on.
Oh, not a bad idea by Derek Ferguson. One of 10 internationals on the field in this 4th round FA Cup tie, sponsored by Littlewoods Pools. Come from 8 different countries. How our football has changed. Sorry for 1 or 2 rain spots on the cameras, but not even Ian McCaskill can control the weather. Kubicki, the pole. And it's run free to Smith, who didn't seem to be sufficiently sharply aware of the opportunity which presented itself. It's a corner, the last touch was off Sol Campbell.
I think Martin Smith's first touch, his left foot took him wide. If he could have taken it across Sol Campbell, he might have got across the back 4 of Spurs there.
Curling a bit, come to be out by Teddy Sheringham. Plenty forward still. Martin Smith. Bennett among those forward. Scott trying to get through. Stopped by Sheringham. Heavy pressure from the supposed underdogs. Won't come down properly. Slightly disappointing by Phil Gray. Playing against the club where he started his career. It was slightly unfortunate that there were people like Clive Allen and a certain Gary Lineker in his way, so he moved off to Luton. Played 9 games in 5 years for Tottenham, Phil Gray. Klinsmann, Sheringham, intended for the run of Bambi. One or two players wanting to let one or two others know that they're around. Neatly done by Russell and by the referee. Scott to Smith. Some rather strange names we've got used to. Kubitskis and Klinsmans and Pesky. Sol Campbell gave it away. Andy Melville of Wales. Klinsman waits in the middle. Run away from Klinsman. Gray, a little push in the back by Calderwood. Something went wrong with the wires there. Bennett, incidentally, one of only two Sunderland players in the starting lineup who played for them in the final of '92. Spurs had three only from '91.
Through ball just going out of play. Now, Spurs do like to hold a fairly flat back four, play the offside, and Sunderland have to make sure that they time their runs well. That time a couple of them caught coming out and no one going from midfield, and the danger was lost.
Lots of youngsters in the crowd. They've spotted us just after we spotted them. Wind in the main is blowing against Ian Walker, and it's telling. In comes Scott. Met the solid person of Campbell. Quick throw to Russell. Hang a little bit. Give an air. Barmby. Pesky in the gloves. To Campbell without them. Sheringham wants a long one to the far side. Klinsman. Offside against Popescu. Klinsman was trying to play it through to Popescu at the first time of asking, but didn't get it right.
Popescu, along with Klinsman, of course, added that little bit of culture to the Spurs play, and I think happier with Howes alongside him in centre midfield, because of course I think Popescu felt that he was quite often isolated with the two central defenders. Now with Howes sitting in there, gives him that protection to go forward now and again, which he does enjoy. But generally speaking, he is also another additional cushion for that back four.
Change of style brought about by Jerry Francis, though he points out they've by and large been still scoring plenty of goals. No problem for Walker. Edinburgh. Popescu. Pressure by Phil Gray. Leaves it to Dariusz Kubicki. Gray. Maverick with his back. Armstrong. Scott to Smith, who's hugging that left touchline. Two waiting in the middle. Sunderland ball. Russell. What Howes intended. Melville. Play it the way you're facing. Alec Chamberlain. better in the main. Gary Bennett's take the free kick. That's Mick Buxton, the Sunderland manager. Used to be a Sunderland fan, stood on the terraces in the 50s. If you're wondering what Mick Buxton was doing in 1973, when Sunderland won the cup, he was a coach on the staff at Watford. Ten gone, no score. Chamberlain has in fact timed the jump better than Armstrong. Threat in the end came from Scott.
Playing the system, of course, Martin Scott, the left back, pushed into that midfield area, such as also the right flank, Kubiski. They can join from those areas and get through the middle. That one just overhit, and probably the wind favouring Sunderland, if anything, is swirling around but favouring, and they've got to be careful not to overhit their through balls, which they've tended to do up to now.
Bennett again, cushioned it well. Nicely down by Derek Ferguson. Gray got a man moving to his right, who was Kubicki. Went for something rather ambitious. Russell.
Good to see a young lad. They're trying things like that. He's got a natural left foot, as Martin Smith, also Armstrong and Scott, so 4 natural left footers. He saw him partially off, he didn't catch it right, but the idea was there, and it was good to see him showing that vision.
He's been playing well enough for the management to let Don Goodman move from here to Wolves. Good touch, Bombi. Good tackle. Excellent tackle by Howie. Really fine challenge, which had to be absolutely precise. But a nice move by Tottenham, and Howie's first test has been passed with flying colours. Look at this. Clearly won the ball.
Well, that was the idea of playing 3 central defenders. They felt with Barnby keep tucking in from the left, getting beyond Klinsmann and Sheridan, that they might need the extra defender, and Harry did well, because tackles from behind, you've got to be so careful these days not to give a penalty, not to go off, so a vital challenge.
Armstrong with the free kick. 5 up just on the edge of the box. Here's Kubicki. Too many there. It needs to be got in a bit quicker than they're doing it. Kubicki really should have got the ball in. Appeal for handball. Play on, says the referee. Good decision. Walker committed, and committed well, denying Martin Smith, and it's a goal kick at the end of it all. Good stuff from the Spurs goalkeeper, who is a different player from last season. It was a good ball through, he had to get there, and he did.
Could have broken more kindly, I suppose, for the Bill Gray, who was following up. Good ball from Scott, the attacking left back, who started well, pushing forward, not just concentrating on marking Anderton, but keen to support the attacks.
Kubicki curled out and in. Kubicki, this weather won't bother him. It's not quite Silesia, but it's getting close. Edinburgh. Pescu, Calderwoods. Scott didn't get it away. Spurs throw. Wind driving across the ground, and the rain falling quite hard. Chase for Russell. Edinburgh there, so is Walker. Ferguson. Nice dummy. Swing. Scott to Smith. Push by Campbell.
Certainly Smith having that left side at the moment. Looks like a ball player likes to just entice the defender in to make his tackle, and they've won a free kick.
Played quarter of an hour, it's flicked on. Comfortable from the head of Armstrong for Ian Walker. Great. Barnby. Mehmet. Mehmet leaves the ball, a free kick has been given. Wanted to get to a central defensive position. Scott takes. Won by Calderwood. Back in by Smith. Good challenge for the ball by Howells. Didn't make it, but it was enough to put Armstrong off. Kubicki. Spurs all moving forward en masse. More up than on by Alec Chamberlain. Anderton. First wonder by him to this left flank. Not a bad ball in either. Out by Melville. Referee playing the advantage again and then felt that it had to be improved and gives Tottenham the free kick.
First yellow card then. Kubicki were pulling back there. He was going to be clear, Anderton, and the referee quite rightly thought it was a dangerous situation and making sure that's not going to happen with other defenders.
Anderton to take the free kick, given for the foul on him. Mehmet tried to get there. This is Barnby. Leaves it for Howells. Changes the angle beautifully. Well covered. Gray. Scott. Everything to his right. Ferguson. Armstrong. Mehmet. Away by Bennett. Armstrong. Forward, and that's usually been the case. Progressive attitude by the home side. Bennett fancies himself going forward too, Bennett, with some justification. Good mover. Andy Melville, not quite as fluent. Smith. It's the sort of role that David Howell plays so well, why he's been the choice of Jerry Francis. He wasn't by Ozzy Ardiles, although it was Steve Perriman who brought him back into the side. And the referee puts hand in pocket again. Doesn't make a fuss of things, Mike Reid.
Yeah, looks like Sol Campbell this time, so both right fullbacks gone into the book.
And it was by Armstrong, out by Campbell. The referee has been quite quick on his two bookings. I think he doesn't want to get the card wet. Sticks it back in his pocket and is rather sorry it's there. Howie has come forward. Russell, Howells, Martin Scott shot, comes out to Gray. Oh, what an opportunity for the former Spurs player. Came to him fortuitously. There seemed to be an almighty hole, but he couldn't find it. Walker was a bit on the left-hand post, but in trying to get it wide of his right hand, there looks a gap there. But he pulled it away from the far post.
Well, I wouldn't think you get many better chances than that. Just before, I thought the header that brought the corner from Gordon Armstrong was a clear-cut heading opportunity, but he just got ahead of the ball and couldn't then get the glancing header. And then, of course, the ricochet dropping kindly for Phil Gray. And I think the golden rule is get it on target at least.
Through by Sheringham. Popescu. Anderton. 5 Spurs players in the box. Sheringham at the back. On the header, but couldn't direct it with any great power or direction. Here's Gray. Russell. Oh, Gray had left that hole. Clouds beginning to pass. The rain easing off. Could be some sunshine. Should have been for Sunderland a few moments ago. Comes through to Sheringham. Scott. The crowd's on the edge of their seats or their toes. Ferguson. Too strong. But he's looked lively, Derek Ferguson.
Well, it's an opportunity. Have you been an international in Scotland, your Rangers, then Hearts, and suddenly finding yourself playing against the quality of Spurs, you feel, well, I want to prove the ability is still there, make a point. He's picked up a lot of the loose balls. Up to now, the forwards have not quite been on the right wavelength, and he's trying to knock the ball into space rather than to feet, and they're looking to feet.
Still only 27, Derek Ferguson. Came here in July '93. Kubicki. Came a year later after a spell on loan, arrived from Aston Villa, having left Legia Warsaw in Poland. It's Colin Calderwood, also been a regular first choice for Francis. Howells. Armby is on the left side ahead now of Edinburgh. He was a little bit lucky, he didn't control that too well, and in the end it did cost him. Ferguson, beautifully away from Popescu. Neatly done. Bennett can carry, they're all backing off him. Finds Kubicki, 3 for the cross. Good stuff from Sunderland. Ferguson. Taken off his toe by Sheringham. Sunderland really should have made more of that.
That was the best move of the game, wasn't it? Started from their own penalty area involving 6 or 7 players, and the Neo's cross just cleared. But they don't look like a side that have only won 2 league games here at Roker Park.
15 goals in 16 games, though, is a statistic which tells a bit of a story. It's been the tally at Roker Park. Armstrong playing with lots of confidence, the Sunderland side, rising to the occasion, as was expected, I think. Been playing 25 minutes, we haven't had a goal. But lively enough. Not lively enough for him, though. Klinsmann, who hasn't really been in the match much. Mavitt. Popescu. You'll notice the gloves are matching. Sheringham. The space, if he can move to his right. That was on for Barmby, who was offside. But that's where the gap was, and Barmby aware of that, but by the time the ball was played, he was caught.
Well, they like Barmby to float around and come through that middle, but with the extra defender there, it's not easy for Spurs at the moment to find the gaps, so they might have to look in wider areas. Darren Anderton has found it difficult to get into the game yet. Whether the two fullbacks then might try and push forward just to spread the width at the moment, but Spurs up to now have sort of been playing the width of the 18-yard box, and apart from that one chance that Barmby had when Howie made the good tackle, they haven't created any openings.
Sunderland ball, in and out. Melville. Just played in and no more. Ferguson industry showing again. Sunderland needing to keep the building going. They've had one fine chance from Gray, another attack in which they had full control and all sorts of options and didn't make use of it. Edinburgh, nasty height. Popescu, Anderton to his right, further over there, that side is Sheringham, two down the middle. Howie, somewhat unorthodox, and then it was played over the top of the prostrate Howie. Ball straight in, said the linesman. This is Barmby, shooting chance. Tried to get Sheringham in instead, and the flag up on the far side again. And the Butler on that far side seeing rather a lot. Mr. Andrew Butler from Wigan. We need the Barnet today. Well in the win by Sheringham twice. Armstrong. Kubicki. Don't know who wearing red and white stripes the pole saw on that left side. Scott. Armstrong, chase for Gray. Be a fruitless one, I suspect. And the game has gone off the boil a bit. As we approach the half-hour point. Still no score. In a round which hasn't produced a surprise of Any note? Rather screwed off his instep. I'll do a bit better this time. Seemed to be the suggestion of Howie. Owls, Edinburgh. Sixth meeting between these sides in the FA Cup. First since 1961, Spurs double year. Very well watched by Melville. Scott. Defenders winning out. Sheringham. That's a lot of Edinburgh. Kavitsky. Craig Russell. Well, if you're disappointed that there isn't a goal here, see on your screens that confirms there isn't a goal anywhere. So we haven't gone to the wrong match. Bennett. Barmby did well. Possibilities here for Tottenham. This is Klinsmann. Barmby in the middle getting away from Bennett. Goalkeeper had it, lost it. Needed the help of the long legs of Bennett. But Barmby always looked the favourite on Bennett there. Tottenham almost changed the atmosphere at Roker. Anderton. Well read by Kavitsky. Pickett. Lavered on Gray. It was quickly taken, but the referee wants to take it again. Ball may well have been moving. Indicating the spot for the free kick, Mike Reid.
Good break by Spurs. Gareth Bennett, actually, who's taking the free kick now, was made a mistake in the centre, and it was his long leg who rescued the situation, just as it seemed it was going to squeeze clear for Sheringham coming in. Vital clearance.
Looking forward, Howie made the run, out by Anderton. Here's Popescu. Klinsmann makes a diagonal run and falls flat on his face. Sheringham back for Barmby. It's interesting that Nicky Barmby has been involved in the best that Tottenham have offered in the attacking sense.
He's great awares, knows where the other players are around him. Let the ball run superbly there. Teddy Sheringham very frustrated because he only needed to cushion that through ball, and he knew it was on there for a clear shot on goal for Barmby. But that was their best move.
Good balance by Melville. Popescu could have a long distance crack, tried to find Barmby. Everybody wants to find Barmby. Here's Ferguson. Two forwards. Kavitsky, Gray to the right. It's live enough again. Three waiting for a cross. It could not be so described. Kavitsky hurt. Referee allowed play to go on. Gray was offside. And Kavitsky, the pole, is down hurt. And Wimbledon lead at Tranmere. The Norwegian Øyvind Leonardsen has put them ahead. going well then, Bennett. Physically strong. Russell and Mabbott and Walker. Does all that very calmly. It's one of those goalkeepers who's not unhappy about the change in law. Requires them to be an outfield player at times as well. Howie. Bennett. Armstrong. Waited. And a free kick given against Howells. So I'm not sure he didn't win the ball then, but the referee thought differently.
Well, the ball through to Armstrong was just a bit slow. He had to wait for it. I thought Howells just got the toe ender first, and then just the follow through of the tackle brought Armstrong down. So I can understand his frustration.
Ferguson. Plenty up there. Well won by Campbell. Nullifying the threat of Smith. Ferguson, lots of industry. Good pace, Martin Smith. Did it go out? No, it didn't, according to the linesman, who I have to say was just a little bit short of cutting up with the corner flag. I thought that was out of play. Russell. Gray. And Harry. Deflected for the corner.
There's a good run by Marty Smith. The one, it was close to the byline. The funny part was that the referee, Mike Reed-Bolt, actually sold Campbell from making the initial tackle. So if that ended up as a goal, he wouldn't have been too pleased. And that's the corner kick now coming.
Well, Harry shot. Harry back in the role that he's played more in the reserves, occasionally in the first team. Plenty of curl. And at the back was Bennett. And he's a touch unlucky. Gary Bennett, real servant of this club. A flick away off the head of Popescu, and he wasn't far away with the return.
Haven't been that many chances, but 2 or 3 what you would qualify as very good chances. That one coming to a defender, he knocked it first time. There wasn't anyone on that post. If it just been a little bit lower, certainly though, still Phil Gray's opening is the best chance of the match so far.
I think it was in the gift-wrapped variety. Armstrong, Russell, Scott. Gray has pulled away. Saw it a bit earlier than Edinburgh that it was going to run long. Kubicki, just a bit tight on the near post. You don't beat me like that, says Ian Walker.
Yeah, just broke kindly for Kubicki. He just should have pulled it away that little bit further. It was quite a comfortable save. But they've shown a lot of confidence, Sunderland. Been pleasantly surprised, really. Martin Smith, certainly the number 22, has got a delightful left foot. I like the left back, Scott, who pushes in as well, and Derek Ferguson in midfield. A very even first half.
Howells. Klinsmann away. Free kick. I think 1 or 2 in Roker Park might have thought that was the Klinsmann of before he came to British football. Let's see. Well, he won the ball. And then afterwards, the free kick was won.
Yes, having seen that, I think most neutrals would say, let's hope it doesn't end up with a goal.
Anderton may well try to come around the wall. Calderwood on the far side. Anderton takes. Chamberlain just with the tap down. Justice done.
A little bit casual the save there. I thought it was a bit late going for it. Shouldn't have beaten him, but he seemed to swerve towards that top corner a bit late. Nearly called him unawares, but as I say, it would have been very unfortunate because it was a good tackle.
Ferguson, whose hard work has certainly done much to make up for the absence of ball. Russell. Popescu's supposed clearance. This won't come down. Edson. Part-time fullback who worked it well. And Klinsmann gets the booze. It was inevitable, really. Campbell. Barmby. Klinsmann in the middle, so is Sheringham. Popescu. Again the Romanian. It's hanging a bit. Hanging comfortably for Alec Chamberlain, who sets the pole on his way. Russell. Forward to Smith, who let it run and then didn't have room to get round the bulk of Campbell.
He was unlucky. It was a good ball from Russell. Marty Smith thought he would just let it run, take it away from Colin Calderwood, not realising Sol Campbell was quite as close. And when there was a weight confrontation, I think there's only one loser.
Same track as Anderton. Harry's header only to Campbell. Klinsmann. Good height on the header from Melville. Now Martin Smith. Ferguson. Gray. Crowd like that, nicely spread out. Beautifully done by Russell. No foul. Get a question of physique. Challenged by Armstrong on Howells, which the referee just looks with a touch of disdain. Bit of arm wrestling going on. The first pull, in fact, was by Russell. Campbell was just stronger.
Yeah, no question of penalty there. Put it through his legs quite well. It just seemed to hesitate rather than get his body across him and allow Campbell to come and, as you say, deflect his muscles, and the young striker bounced off him.
Last 2 minutes of the first half. Something of an old-fashioned cup tie on a raw afternoon. People standing and getting soaking wet, but enjoying the match. Certainly Sunderland have given as good as they've received. Another quick yellow card to Calderwood. Free kick coming as we move into the last minute of the half. Been said many times, but it doesn't prevent it from being true. What a good time this would be to score. Plenty looking for the opportunity. Fair about a push and shove. Oh, there was a damn squib.
I'm surprised how many sides take a free kick from there, sort of in the centre of the pitch. It's very difficult to get a clear header from a hanging ball like that. I always think it's a better option to play it either on one flank or the other and cross it more diagonally from a better angle. But I think Sunderland will be very pleased how they've done it. But if anything, they've had the edge of the first half, the clearer cut chances. I would think Mick Buxton might be a bit disappointed that they haven't just nudged ahead.
Martin Smith trying to change that. Stopped by Calderwood. Here's Anderton. Sheringham. Referee has a check of the watch as Tottenham build on their left. Edinburgh. Anderton. Seeing him only in flashes, Anderton. Seemed to hang a little bit. I'm waiting for people to go for it. Shot on the turn by Sheringham. Greeted in the expected manner at the full well end. Huge sympathy for the error. Sunderland fans have come here to enjoy the afternoon, never mind the weather, and their team hasn't let them down so far. They've been in the sunshine of the Costa del Sol during the week, which proves they've got their heads on their shoulders. Russell. Mavitz. Reach half-time with a blank score sheet. I'm sure Sunderland will feel that it shouldn't have been so. Phil Gray certainly had the best chance of the half. There was a gap to be found to Walker's right, but it curled away his shot from the far post. And Nick Barmby, the most lively of the Tottenham attack, but neither goalkeeper beaten. Half-time at Roker Park on a cold, wet afternoon, but a match being enjoyed by the locals. 0-0. Spurs management on their way, followed by the Sunderland team. And all the interest here in Roker Park. The docks lie idle. The wind has got up rather during the half-time interval, blowing a little swirling. Well, the strength is mainly from left to right, blowing towards the sea. Most of the clouds have gone away, a little higher, and we've got a touch of blue sky as well. And we've obviously got a charge down the left side to open the second half by the permutation that Sunderland have taken up here. It's a bit too much down the middle, but Gray looking to be the recipient. Interesting 0-0. Spurs have won 4 of the previous 5 meetings between these two sides, which have totaled 20 goals, 15-5, and the last 2 meetings finished up as 11-2. The last meeting was 34 years ago. Spurs won in the 6th round in a replay 5-0 after 1-1 here at Roker Park, and went on to do the double. Didn't have Romanians and Poles playing in those days. Mavitz, Sheringham, Germans. Here's Klinsmann. Anderton struck it cleanly enough, and on the near side rather than the cross goal.
I think he should have done better actually. It's good little ball to spread it wide by Klinsmann. Set up, didn't have to control it, hit it first time, and sort of sliced off the outside of his foot. More positive opening perhaps by Spurs. Certainly recently when I saw them play West Ham, they had a pretty torrid time in the first half and came out and went on after being 1-0 down to play very well second half and win 2-1. Perhaps Jerry Francis has G'd them up a bit to get a few extra men forward.
Well, it's taken you nearly 47 minutes to mention the words West Ham. I thought that today, after yesterday, they might not get a mention.
They won't get another one then. So
Howie has done his job well enough so far, including that excellent tackle on Barmby. Bennett. Good stuff from Gary Bennett. He's been here 10 years. And he's played a bit, as they say. Barmby. Forward for Anderton. Spurs seemingly have decided to carry the fight to the opposition. They now have the wind in the main behind them. Jerry Francis with a reputation for being able to warm the dressing room at half-time. Forward for Gray, away by Calderwood. No changes incidentally in personnel, which is no surprise. Each gave his all. Finally the throw taken and coming to nothing. Klinsmann. Klinsmann again. Well involved in this half, Klinsmann. Had a very quiet first period. This is Bambi. And pulled across. Sheringham and Bambi maybe a bit close to each other in the end. I think Bambi was prepared to finish what he had started.
They've pushed Sunderland back up at the start of this second half. Showed their little bit of extra quality and class. Came inside well, Bambi, after being released by Klinsmann. Just got knocked off balance, and that's why perhaps the shot didn't end up on target. But at the moment, they seem as if they're determined to take their grip.
Bambi again. Anderton. Pesky was about to go outside, but Anderton went there on his own. That is a goal kick. Came off Andy Melville. Gary Bennett, story is that he has a bit of a hamstring problem. Some news from Ray Stubbs down on the touchline. Popescu. Sunderland have got to be very aware of being forced back in this opening. Sheringham's cross came off the woodwork. Popescu blocked by Bennett, but with his hand. Handball, and Bennett is sent off. Sunderland down to 10 men. Save from Popescu with his hand getting up behind the goalkeeper. Sunderland down to 10 men, and Spurs have a penalty. 5th minute of the second half, and Jürgen Klinsmann with the chance to put Spurs ahead. All not quite on the spot. Chamberlain, little shrug of the shoulders. It's down to him now. Oh, what an excellent penalty. Could not surely have been more accurate. Klinsmann's 17th goal of the season, his second penalty. And this is what led to the penalty. Popescu, who started it, in fact, it would be Popescu in the end, who was denied. Came back off the post, not sure that Chamberlain got a touch. And there's Popescu in the middle, unmarked, side foot, and clear handball by Bennett, who in the modern ruling knew that that was the end of his interest in this match, or at least playing interest. As for the quality of the penalty, look at this.
Well, that's how to take one, isn't it? Of course, he took over from Terry Sheringham earlier in the season. He missed a couple. And Klinsmann looking really clinical there, but it had that hallmark, didn't it? The opening few minutes, Spurs came out, took a grip, couple of half chances, and then that chance.
Here's Smith. Looking for a bit of a bobbly daisy cutter for somebody coming in. Didn't quite get it right. I would think the Spurs manager was the person who lit the touch paper.
And of course, the worst thing apart from conceding the goal is you've lost a player as well. The referee quite right in modern day rulings. No alternative but to send Gary Bennett off. And it does mean now they've got to go without that cushion of the third central defender, and they're just playing a normal flat back four, and the rest of the side will stay the same.
Sunderland now in need of producing a performance which will go down in the annals of their history. Spurs, one would think, will not be content with what they've achieved. Wales. Anderton. At the moment, Sunderland have gone to the flat back four with Armstrong on the left side.
Yeah, I think he's just drifted back there. He was defending at the time, but they're going to play the flat back four with him going into midfield as he has been with Ferguson. It's just that he worked his way back there. The problem will be Barmby now, because he comes into that middle with the two strikers, and without the third central defender, he might pick up the space.
What Sunderland need is an immediate reply. Harry is up, so positively was Popescu. Most of the Spurs fans at the end being defended by Chamberlain, so they had the best view of all that. Sheringham, Campbell, this is the view from behind the goal. I don't think the referee could have had any doubts at all. Absolutely as clear a man caught in the act. Kick is given. Popescu clearly thought that was a dive. It could be said that Martin Smith made quite a lot of it. Oh, hello, yes. I think we'll go for a 5.6 with Tuck.
There's a quick learner, isn't he? He must have been watching the Klinsmann free kick in the first half. That was a good tackle by Popescu.
Now, Martin Scott with the left. Out by Mabbott, but at the expense of a corner. Bumped into Harry, turned around and smiled. One of nature's gentlemen, Gary Mabbott. Short. Smith and Campbell. Goal kick.
Martin Smith just behind Sol Campbell. One of those players who, as I said in the first half, he loves to hold on to the ball, run at defenders. It entices you into tackles. On that occasion, just beforehand, Popescu got the ball, but because he did get Sol Campbell a booking earlier, so perhaps he's the man to let him have it to feet and try and take on the defenders. But with a man short, it is certainly a mountain at the moment for them to climb, because when you're losing matches as they have in the league, the confidence tends to drain when you go behind in a match.
Looking good for Wimbledon. They're 2 up at Tranmere. The second goal scored by Robbie Earle. Leon Artson scored the first, if you weren't with us earlier. Here's Sheringham scoring the second for Tottenham Hotspur. Well, they allow the freedom of the penalty area to the right at Roker, or to our right at least. I think Harry's expression summed up the feelings of Sunderland supporters. I mean, it really was a walk on the comfort side. Harry missed the header. Sheringham looked up. Nobody came to him, so he thought, well, I might just as well go and finish it myself, and he did with some aplomb.
Well, you just can't commit yourself there as a central defender. You either get the ball, but you don't get the wrong side like that. And then, of course, now there isn't the cover of the third defender. Teddy Sheringham thinks, right, let's keep going, on his left foot, and no chance at all for the goalkeeper, and now surely it's beyond them.
Well, if it was a mountain before, it's space travel now. And the expressions tell the story. Walker seemingly mopping his brow then, but I can't believe there are too many concerns among the Tottenham ranks at this juncture. credit them for the positive start to the second period, but it's all fallen apart for Sunderland. Offside.
Well, there as well, the Spurs had 5 breaking against 2, and Sunderland now just lost their organisation. And here you can see he's looking for the square ball, but nobody has come out at all. And in the end, he just lifts it over the goalkeeper.
Keeps up the battle on the scoring stakes with Sheringham, moves with Klinsmann, moves Sheringham up to 14. Sort of goal you see in a five-a-side practice match, really, when everybody stands off. Scoring, she does about 3 laps of honour too. Martin Scott. Well, the neutral would be certainly behind Sunderland. Got a deflection, met by Calderwood. David Howe's appreciated that too much. He'll have a singing in his ears. Got cheekbone and ear together. Certainly will be many supporters who feel that Sunderland have paid 2 penalties and now they've conceded 2 goals. And there's so much space around. Cleared the ball very well, Alec Chamberlain. Comes to Barmby. Sunderland all over the place. Here's another. No, there's not. Good save by Chamberlain, denying Anderson.
A great ball from Barmby. That was good early one. And Anderson actually only needed to knock it in the far post. You see he's going to knock it back towards the goalkeeper as he's stretching. He'll get a better angle from here. Empty net, but he's knocked it back to the keeper, who must be very grateful to be holding on to that. That should have been the 3rd. But they're rampant at the moment, and Sunderland completely lopsided now without that extra defender.
Martin Smith. Pity the run promised rather more than that. Martin Smith, one of the youngsters in the team, 20 last November. Played for England under-17 side. Famous terrace at the Fulwell end at Roker Park. Seen by Howie. That's a lot of Phil Gray. How the miss now has proved so costly, Phil Gray, in the first period. Very confidently and calmly claimed by Walker. Good clearance too. Anderton, Klinsmann down the middle, Sheringham on the left side, Popescu coming in now behind Anderton. Barmby's up in the box as well. Anderton touched greedy, to tell the truth. Armstrong trying to release Gray, that's a very good ball. Craig Russell is up with him, Smith is behind him. Unhappy end.
Superb ball from Armstrong to release Gray, and then just having 1 against 1, he turned back out, and again Martin Smith hesitated, not happier or as happy going on his right foot as his left.
Looking there at Mick Buxton and Trevor Hartley, how can a manager legislate for what has suddenly happened in this match?
I think as well to Spurs, that little extra gear they found the first 5 minutes of the second half, it was looking ominous, and then the goal came, and since then they've been, well, so dominant.
Totally, I think. Sheringham, only place for it to go, and Kubicki trying to lift his side, who are deep in the doldrums.
Certainly there's still, 27 minutes to go. Spurs such a good passing team. With a man short, you could almost see them certainly getting another couple at least.
Two in front of Chamberlain. Away comes Calderwood. Mabbutt is still in. Out by Phil Gray. Klinsmann. Put out for Howie. Well, those who made the journey up from London, they're the ones celebrating and enjoying themselves now. Looking forward to the draw which follows this match. Anderton, strike by Mabbutt initially, and it's a third goal. Deflections on the way, but Gary Mabbutt, who doesn't score too often, enjoying the moment as his side take a third. Hit it well, got a deflection, but I think he will claim it.
Yeah, a significant deflection, wasn't it? But I mean, definitely in those circumstances, the attacking player will definitely have that. Gary Mabbutt, certainly, as you say, not getting that many goals, will want that one. And as I said, it's now 3-0, and I don't think you'd like to be one of the Sunderland outfield players at the moment, because it still looks a long way for that final whistle.
So Campbell and Tottenham look full of running and determined to show their attacking flair. Incidentally, Mabbutt's first goal of the season, that. Anderton, he's running riot, Darren Anderton. Away by Howie. Back to the young England player. In the opening 20 minutes of the second half. The Premiership side in such a happy position. And to add insult to injury, Derek Ferguson's got a knock. So it should be to add injury to insult. Barnby, free kick against Armstrong. Ferguson certainly in need of attention from Steve Smelt. That's the number 3. There's the scorer, Gary Mabbutt.
Certainly now Spurs, of course, I think enjoying the benefits of that solid defensive performance. The wind was reasonably strong that they were playing against in that first 45 minutes. They didn't get numbers forward, but as soon as they got the benefit of it in the second half, they did give the support. And certainly people like Gary Mabbutt at the back with Calderwood, two defenders who looked as if they were having a torrid time at Spurs. Suddenly, since Jerry Francis arrived, he's tightened up that back four, and they've come through, showed good form. David Howe sitting in front of them, and now the forwards are getting the benefit of that first 45 minutes.
Yawn stifled, a defeat to be faced. Campbell to take the free kick. Ferguson soldiers on. Calderwood to take the free kick. Pescu looking for the return from Klinsmann, but he didn't actually head the ball hard enough towards Klinsmann. Anderton, Klinsmann, Campbell. Gets it into Klinsmann. Bypass Ferguson. Martin Smith brings it out wide. He's got a runner either side. Not a bad attempt either. Covered by Calderwood. Armstrong. Scott. given away, and they can't afford to do that. Klinsmann, 4 on 3 here. Oh, Klinsmann.
Looked pretty dreadful. I mean, it was pretty dreadful, but I mean, the point is you can see what he was doing. A good early cross, and they're so good at that. Barnby we saw earlier, the one to Anderton, and Sheringham was clear. They are a man short on their pitch, but at the moment Sunderland do seem to have lost their organisation, and they're not picking up runners, and you can't really see them stemming the flow at the moment.
Header by Gray, then by Calderwood. Howie. Two playing the same ball then, Russell and Gray. Popescu. Taken by Ferguson. Mabbott. Klinsmann. Well, it's a very unhappy situation for Mick Buxton to be in, but he might learn about one or two characters in his team. Is there somebody here who is going to say, well, I'm going to show them what I can do? Well, he looked as though he was finding a bit of cover. I bet his team wish they could. Minutes to go. It will be a long 20 minutes for Sunderland and their supporters. That's a goal kick. Howie. Great. Cry from the Tottenham supporters that they're going to Wembley. Not so long ago, they didn't even think they were even going to set out on the road. Time for Walker. The association changed their minds because of the efforts of the gentleman on the right there, Alan Sugar, who made his point rather pointedly. Tony Berry, another member of the board. On Roberts. Barnby. Sorted out by Edinburgh and then gives it away. North East will have only one team to interest them, and could interest them for quite a long journey in the draw which follows this match. As Middlesbrough have departed, Sunderland are on their way. Team in black and white still going strong. Flag was up for offside.
Slight lull after the flurry of goals. Spurs now just having a breather, I think. Got the cushion, of course, of the 3-0 lead, and just now deciding whether they want to push on to add one or two more, I think.
Welcome to Sunderland, says the sign. Tottenham in the second half have been made very welcome indeed. Edinburgh. Klinsmann. Good touch. Sheringham. He weighted ball. And Anderton and Klinsmann between them didn't quite get it right. Popescu. Bambi. Played by Scott. This is Smith. Gray. Sprinter outside him is Kubicki. The other way is Scott. 4 in the area. This is Armstrong. Ferguson, they can't afford to give it away. But they're not going to get a shot in on goal. Well, they might still. Scott's cross. Gray scores! Certain irony in that it should be Phil Gray. If only his earlier one counted, which looked a lot easier than that one. But he took the chance quite superbly. Snapped the commentator in passing. Hit it quite beautifully under the body of Ian Walker to lift the spirits around Roker.
Well, I think everyone would be delighted to see Sunderland get that goal for that first half performance, if nothing else. That one he hit very well on the half volley, just getting in front. Justin Edinburgh, but as you say, was a much harder chance than that one in the first 45 minutes. And just, I think, a bit of punishment perhaps for Spurs for just being a bit sloppy and sitting back on that lead.
Well, they certainly had the opportunity to clear the ball, gave it away. It's just what the match needed and just what the crowd needed. It's the Sunderland part of it, which is the majority. That's a Sunderland ball. Smith. Good cross it was, beautifully met by Gray. Well, many around would have been wondering how long to a warming cup of tea. They've been warmed instead by a goal well taken.
It's given a bit of spark to the deflated crowd as well. They were sort of thinking and just beginning to feel how cold this weather was, and suddenly the goal giving them just a glimmer. I think it's only going to stay a glimmer though.
Well, he's watching, I think. Won't be too pleased about that goal given away. Sunderland and the neutral will be pleased. No change in the other two matches. Wimbledon leading 2-0 at Tranmere, Leonardson and Robbie Earle. No score, Bristol City and Everton. Bristol City, who undermined one half of Liverpool, City of Liverpool last season, looking to beat the other half. Here's Ferguson. Sunderland certainly lifted by the goal. No longer lambs for apparent slaughter. Gray. Affected by Mabbott. It's a corner. And the Roker roar has found its voice again. Set the cat among the pigeons if they got another. Off Popescu. Spurs have got to concentrate minds once more. That's not a bad try. Appeal for handball. Referee says chest. Mike Reid was superbly placed. Immediately tapped his chest. Well taken by Walker from a slightly dodgy throw. The appeal for handball came. Howie got up, and it was quite clearly the chest of Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, no question there. It was the right decision. And, more optimism, I think, by the crowd, willing their side just to get that second goal to add that bit of anxiety.
Well played, Sheringham. Anderton, 4-on-2 for a moment. Klinsmann, Popescu.
That was a good, great ball from Klinsmann. I think Popescu, it wasn't a shot. I think he was trying to square it back across for Barmby, who could have side-footed home.
Played in by Anderton. Klinsmann on to Popescu. Yeah, I think he was trying to pull it back. Made a bit of a mess of it, tell the truth. Sunderland poised to make a substitution. And the news from Ashton Gate is that Matthew Jackson has put Everton in front. No surprises in this fourth round of the FA Cup as yet. Armstrong. That was a very, very good header, needed to be by Edinburgh. And all credit to Sunderland, who dug themselves out of a pit and have come back to make a fight of it and live up to the traditions of this club. If that had got through to Russell, it could well have been 2-3. Well away, again by Sheringham, whose head as a defender on set pieces is often seen to advantage. Ten minutes to go, and Sunderland supporters still thinking of the long road back, after it apparently had been dug up in front of them. Kubicki. Chamberlain. Armstrong, it's worked well, the best clearance of Chamberlain he's made all day. But why did Armstrong hesitate?
Yeah, he hit a great ball earlier trying to find Russell, the long range pass, and that one was just a shorter one, needed to be slid along the floor, hesitated, and then the chance was lost.
The pass was actually intended for Popescu. Barmby got in the way. Dropped the clearance. And Tottenham can't find their rhythm again. Scott. Anderton. Neatly done. Klinsmann, Popescu needs to quicken the stride and wasn't able to do so. Under more pressure there, Chamberlain, but somewhat reverted to his previous clearing form. Campbell. Spurs have rather stopped working at it. I think it's all just going to come for match one. 8 minutes left. No running of the stripes. Harry. Campbell. Anderton. necessary. Substitution about to be made by Sunderland. Armstrong is the player coming off, and Martin Gray is his replacement. There's another Gray among the substitutes, Michael. At the moment we just have the two Grays on the field, Phil and Martin. Just in Edinburgh. Ferguson, away by Campbell, and then Sheringham. Ferguson. Scott. Martin Smith suggested some promise in his future. So we move into the last 5 minutes. The Spurs. Ferguson. That's a good cross. And just wide. Really unlucky, Andy Melville. Battled to get his head to it and did, but just couldn't direct it back inside. Walker would probably claim that he had it covered. Well, they've been seen to have brave hearts, not to give up a lost cause, but one would assume, Trevor Brooking, that it's from the winners that you will elect your man of the match. And a few moments of thought. Turns down the appeals of the spectators that there was no push there. Harry. Pescu, staked by Martin Gray. Pescu again. Anderton, Sheringham. Klinsmann. Tottenham finally deciding that enough was enough. The fact that they took their foot off the accelerator has obviously contributed to the change in fortunes, but one should take nothing away from Sunderland for that. Almost lazy cross in, and Klinsmann up early. Header gave Chamberlain no opportunity at all.
Well, it was a great cross, wasn't it, by Terry Sheringham, who was asking to be put into the net, and Jurgen Klinsmann didn't hesitate. He's had an excellent second half, doing Nether Cup, just coming on at this stage. But I think it's really, I mean, the dominance in the second half for me. I mean, you could have picked one of the attackers as man of the match. Certainly Klinsmann has played well, Barnby has flitted around, and Anderton has come into his own, and of course Sheringham with a cross there and his own goal. But for me, I think the game was won in the first 45 minutes when they went in at half-time. They defended well, and so I think one of the central defenders Colin Calderwood and Gary Mabbutt have now rediscovered their form, and for me, the captain, Gary Mabbutt, who also got on the score sheet, is a worthy man of the match on this particular occasion.
Into the last 2 minutes. Man of the match, a man who knows what it's like to pick up the cup in triumph. Tottenham's journey, born of unlikely beginnings in a court battle, continue. Kubicki maybe just a little unwary. 1 or 2 now feel that the demands of the far side are greater than staying to support a team whom the match really went away early in the second half. 3-0 down, they came back and made a fight of it. Klinsmann now putting it well beyond reach. Incidentally, Gary Mabbutt will be invited to give £500 donated to a charity of his choice. Not his money, I hasten to add. I think he might be very pleased to do it. I'm sure he would be. Smith beaten by Campbell. Pescu. Could be another one. Klinsmann.
What a magnificent turn that was. His movement off the ball is certainly a credit, I think, for any youngster to watch. There he is, taking possession, swivelling around, and still just able to get his shot. Not quite able to pull it across the goal, though. But I mean, his headed goal, clinical penalty, and his awareness of people running off him is a key factor in this Spurs side, who are all about passing and moving. But as I say, I think they had to earn the right in the second half to win this cup tie, and that came in the first 45 minutes when Sunderland, certainly, you wouldn't have thought they were well down in their division, but then they've struggled this second half.
Sheringham fancied going it alone. Struck well. He did look up to see what was on and thought he was entitled to have a crack. Jerry Francis will know pretty shortly what awaits in round 5. The draw to be made almost immediately after this match, and 2 other teams likely to go into the draw from this afternoon's matches. On the last news we had would be Wimbledon and Everton. Wimbledon 2 up, Everton 1 up against Tranmere and Bristol City respectively. Played a minute of stoppage time here. Anderton. Spurs go on. Sunderland go back to continue a fight in the league. 2 goals for Jurgen Klinsmann. Sheringham and Mabbutt making up Spurs 4. 1 consolation goal for Sunderland, scored by Phil Gray, who, like many of his supporters, will leave the ground wondering what might have been had he taken his opportunity in the first period. And in the end, his old side, where he started his career, Tottenham Hotspur, the Premiership side, go on into round 5.